Hello, this is Tony Bianco here, and I have for you today your Mindset Mastery Minutes. And today we're going to be talking on the topic of failure. This is such an important topic because we have all faced a moment in a time in our life where we felt like a failure. And what really encouraged me to speak on this topic is I was reading the 4-Hour Work Week, and Tim Ferriss is recounting a challenge that he had given some of his students to be able to contact a celebrity. And I love what this student had said. He said, and I quote, "I deal with rejection by persisting, not by taking my business elsewhere. My maxim comes from Samuel Beckett, a personal hero of mine. Ever tried, ever failed, no matter, try again, fail better. You won't believe what you can accomplish by attempting the impossible with the courage to repeatedly fail better." So the key to success is to learn how to fail like a pro. I want to read that quote one more time. Ever tried, ever failed, no matter, try again, fail better. That's the key to success. And here's why failing better and learning to fall in love with the process of failure to lead to success is because right here, I want to show you this graph, is that most people, when they're looking at their work life or their business entrepreneurial endeavors, is they are in the middle between success and failure. And they start going down the path that they think is success. But what ends up happening is they hit a point of friction and they say, I don't think this is working for me. And so they go the opposite direction and they start going down the path only to find that wherever they turn, they face failure. And, you can see the types of people where you see that how they just kind of jump around from thing to thing to thing to thing. It's because they've never learned this principle of that on the other side of that friction point is your success. So here's what you really should be looking at it like. Every single point in time you begin working towards an endeavor, you're going to face some setbacks. You're going to face something where it's just going to not feel good. It's not going to set med well with you, but you got to go beyond that point. So here's the key right here, is you put you in the graph and then you draw an arrow and you go to failure. You're going to face the challenge and the friction points of failure, but it's what you do when you persist. You persist through failure. That always leads you to a point of success. Because every path to success has its moments where you are failing or doing something wrong. Now here's the key. Just because you're doing something wrong, just because you feel like you're failing, are you really failing? This is the important part. Just because you feel like you're failing doesn't really mean that you are failing. It just means you hit a friction point. And the only way that you really truly failed is when you fail to get back up. The key thing is to persist. Remember what that student had said. I thought it was so impactful. He said that I deal with rejection by persisting and not by taking my business elsewhere. And the last part of what he had said was, you won't believe what you can accomplish by attempting the impossible with the courage to repeatedly fail better. See, he accomplished his goal because he did not give up. He pushed through the point of failure that led him to success. So right now, I want to empower you. I want you to empower yourself and ask this simple question. What would I do? What would you do? What would I do if there were no way you could fail? What would you do if there was no way you could fail and if you were 10 times smarter than the rest of the world? So write that down in this moment. What would you do if there was no way you could fail and if you were 10 times smarter than the rest of the world? Okay? Now pause the video and write that down. Okay, the next thing I want you to do is I want you to list up the 5 things you dream of having, being, and doing. This is the next part of that last question of what would you do. In that part of what would you do, I want you to think about it in the present tense of what you are presently having, what you are presently being, and what you are presently doing. Write that down because your mind does not know the difference between past, present, or future. It just lives in the right now, in the immediate. So I want you to list up the 5 things you dream of having, being, and doing. Now, once you have that down, I want you to also ask yourself, Am I feeling like I'm running into a point of failure or a point of friction? And then ask yourself, am I running away from the challenge, or am I running towards the challenge? And is my success, what happens if I persist? That's the next question to ask yourself, is what if I were able to persist? Would I see my success? I would guarantee that now, 9 out of every 10 times that you would see your success. And the reason why is because other people have been successful. So if they can do it, you can do it. The only difference is they persisted beyond the point of the feeling of failing. So I want you to fail better. I want you to persist, because proper perspective creates your prosperity. The proper perspective today is to learn how to fail better.